Welcome to Sports from the Couch
I gotta say, it's the stupidest thing in sports.
with your host, Mike Mercado.
Players cannot stand him. Coaches cannot stand him. Most importantly, the fans can't stand him.
Brought to you by Mercado Airwaves.
I'm gonna say it once, and hopefully I'm wrong, but it's a disaster waiting to happen.
That is so bad, that is absolutely brutal.
Welcome in, friends, to another edition of Sports from the Couch here on Mercado Airwaves. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. I want to thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for week one of our confidence picks here on Sports from the Couch, where we make our predictions and tell you how confident we are on the CBS app, and maybe you can make fun of us, or maybe you get to see us actually win some games and a little bit of cheddar. Don't tell Uncle Sam. Follow me on Twitter at Mike M Media. I'm on Instagram at Mike Mercado Media, and the show is on Twitter at Couch Sports Talk. Become a producer of the show at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. We have swag, teespring.com/Mercado Airwaves, and like, rate, reviews, and shares wherever you get your favorite podcasts at Mercado Airwaves. Guys, I am super excited. We have finally made it to week one of the NFL season, and that means if you are new to the network, first of all, thank you for joining us. But if you're new to the network, every single Thursday, we make our confidence picks. If you're not too sure what exactly confidence picks are, if you're watching us on youtube.com/Mercado Airwaves Network, or like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves, you could see my beautiful face on the sports section of the Mercado Airwaves studio. Normally, we're on the other end over there where it's all pop culture. Over here, we have some more pop culture, business stuff. But today, what's important is what's on the screen. If you could look right over here, there is the confidence picks from CBS, and I will pull them up bigger on my side of the screen. And what we do here is we make our confidence picks. And you can see from 16 to 1, 16 being the most points, 1 obviously being the least. And if you pick right, that's how many points you win. Every few years, we've done pretty well. This is about 89 people between a bunch of different friends and acquaintances and whatnot. And we have a lot of fun doing it here on the show, just to kind of talk about the games themselves, and also maybe to help you guys make a couple bucks in a fun way, of course. Make sure you guys are taking care of your bills and all that serious stuff. But if you have a little bit of extra income, or if you're just here for some fun, I thank you guys so much for joining us. It means the world to me. And, I don't make a lot of money doing this pick'em, but I sure will have a good time. And I won't waste any of your time, because kickoff is just a couple hours away, guys, as the Houston Texans take on the Kansas City Chiefs. What's amazing about this matchup is the Bears connection to it. Mitch Trubisky won the starting job. How much does that mean when they go into Detroit later on this week? But you have Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, both got paid this offseason. I'm going to go Kansas City. They're big favorites on top of everything else. They're a better team. I like Houston. I know people are using this narrative of a revenge game from the playoffs. Trust me, a revenge game is only in the playoffs, or if you're costing a team to get into said playoffs, but you're not doing anything in September. So this is just going to be an interesting game. Kansas City balls out. I have the Chiefs winning this one. We have the Vegas Raiders taking on the Carolina Panthers. I have the Raiders winning this. Carolina might be the worst team in the NFL. I like a lot of pieces in Carolina. I have a rooting interest of Christian McCaffrey in some of my fantasy teams, so I want to see Carolina do well. I want them to stay healthy. I like Teddy Bridgewater, and we're going to see what he does as the man in front of an organization. But everything being equal, if they don't do well and they get Trevor Lawrence, be interesting to see how loyal they are to Teddy Bridgewater. So I'm going to go with the Vegas Raiders on that one. We have the Dolphins and the Patriots. Cam Newton's debut against division rival Miami. Miami must be super excited that Tom Brady is fighting out of that division. The problem is Miami, really bad team. I'm going to go with Cam Newton balling out in his first game. I have the Patriots winning that one. We have the Browns versus Ravens, another rooting interest for your boy here at Couch Sports Talk on Twitter at Sports from the Couch. I have Lamar Jackson on my fantasy team. I think Baltimore maybe this close to winning a Super Bowl, getting things right. The big question becomes for Lamar Jackson. What is he going to do in the playoffs? He's 0 for 2 in the playoffs. And when you're a quarterback, we judge you by winning. Fair or not, that is what everybody has decided, the consciousness of the sports world. So we'll see come later on this year how much he's taken that next step, if he's right there with Patrick Mahomes and some of these other quarterbacks. But in this game in particular, I'm going to go with Baltimore. I think Cleveland has all the talent in the world, right? They do. Whether they could put it together, a first-year coaching staff, that's the real question. I'm going with Baltimore in this matchup. Packers, Vikings, Packers. The question is what is Aaron Rodgers going to do this season? Why have they not really put weapons around them other than Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams? Like, there's some pieces, but nothing really of substance. They don't have multiple top-tier wide receivers. They have one who was hurt. They haven't given him every single ounce of resource to win. And if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I would be upset. Minnesota might be the best team in the NFC. I've said it. I think between them, the Niners, and the Saints, which I have the Saints going to the Super Bowl for the NFC, I think the Minnesota Vikings are right there. And if Kirk Cousins can keep the ball and the guys in purple, they will go very, very far this season. I'm going to go with the Vikings winning this one. We have the Seahawks versus Atlanta Falcons Seahawks. I'm going to go with Seattle. Russell Wilson has the chance to win an MVP this year. He's always a guy that has a chance to win MVP this year. He's kind of coming down to that point in his career where he's the old sheriff in town. And if he can make DK Metcalf and if Tyler Lockett could continue on this ascension of top-tier wide receivers, and if they could establish some form of a running game, they can go far too. Now, not everybody could go far, but these are teams with the X factor, with that special player. That's a hell of a division, though, in the NFC West. But in this particular matchup, I'm going to go with Seattle winning over in Georgia. We have the Jets taking on Buffalo. Buffalo might be the team that legitimately can take advantage of Tom Brady out of this AFC East. The Jets, injured, a lot of first-round picks. Sam Darnold hasn't been impressing people. I'm going to go with Buffalo in that matchup. I actually like Buffalo a lot. We have the Colts taking on Jacksonville. Again, Jacksonville, I'm sorry to all our Florida friends out there. All your teams in football suck other than one, and we'll get to that in just a second. That came out of nowhere, by the way. But I'm going to go with the Colts in this one. Philip Rivers going to show the rest of the league that he's still one of the top guys in the NFL. And I think the Colts do have some interesting pieces to maybe make a serious run in this. We have the Bears and the Lions. All right, guys. So Mitch plays well in Detroit, plays well against Detroit. Detroit has a better offense, period. Especially with the healthy Matthew Stafford. Now, does that mean that they're going to actually utilize that and put it into action? I don't know. They hardly ever do. I'm going to go with the Bears in this game. I'm going to go with the Bears in this game because this is fool's gold. I have a feeling that the Bears win this one, and there's a lot of good vibes going on, and then they're going to hit a brick wall. I want to be wrong. I still think this team is going to go 6-10. I want to be proven wrong, obviously, here in Chicago, but I think Chicago wins this matchup, but I think Detroit ends up being a better team than the Bears. But I'll go with Chicago week 1. We have the Eagles taking on Washington. Eagles, I don't think are going to be all that good. And I think Washington might be the third worst team in the NFL. Maybe, and definitely the worst organization in the NFL. I'm going to go with the Eagles in this matchup. We have the Chargers and the Bengals. Even though the Chargers are banged up, even though the Chargers are going to have this weird mixture of rebuild / kind of contendership, I think Cincinnati is going to definitely be in this rebuild, and Joe Burrow can only do so much. And if AJ Green is hurt and, Tyler Boyd only could do so much, Joe Mixon can only do so much. I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one, especially with a veteran quarterback like Tyrod Taylor. We have the Cardinals and the Niners. I'm going to go with an upset in this one. I'm going to go with the Cardinals in this one. I actually think they're a really good team. I think Kyler Murray is going to show up. I think the 49ers have the misfortune of the curse of being the runner-up in the Super Bowl. That has hurt so many teams. Does that mean it's going to hurt them forever? Does that mean that they're going to go down like the Panthers did or some of these other teams? I don't necessarily think so. Could they have a Seattle situation where they come back in and win the whole thing? I don't know. But I don't think they're going to be this really, 14-2 team. I think they're going to get there. If they get to the playoffs, I think I predicted they would. You can actually check out the last episode before. But it'll be close. But in this matchup, Arizona's going to be a good team, and Arizona's going to win a couple games. And I think this is a week one upset that can go either way, and we'll look back and be like, we should have known better. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals in this matchup as one of my upsets. Probably the game of the week. It is Tampa Bay taking on New Orleans. We have Buccaneers, Saints, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, week 1 of the NFL season. Fun matchup. I'm going to go with New Orleans in this one. I got New Orleans winning the Super Bowl. They're also, out of these two teams, the one with chemistry. We've seen them play not only big games, but play against teams like Tampa Bay with all the hype. And Tampa Bay without Mike Evans is not something we should just look over. I like Chris Godwin. Again, a lot of vested interest in Chris Godwin. But that doesn't mean that we should ignore anything else that's happening with Mike Evans being gone. Excuse me 1 second. So maybe in this specific matchup, I could see people being tempted to wanting to go Tampa Bay. I think the safe money is on New Orleans, in New Orleans, and letting Sean Payton and Drew Brees with Michael Thomas, and let's see what happens with Alvin Kamara. They work this thing out, and they end up going to win this one. That doesn't mean that Tampa Bay won't be a great team. That doesn't mean that they cannot win this NFC South. But right now, I like New Orleans and I like the chemistry that they've had just from their time playing so many years with each other. We have the Cowboys and the Rams. I'm going to go Dallas in this matchup. If you listen to us on our pop culture show, The Good Brothers, Good Brother Alex thinks Dallas is going to the Super Bowl. I don't necessarily believe that, but alone with their offensive power, and if Dak Prescott really believes in what he's worth, and we're seeing what other quarterbacks are getting paid, this is that moment for them. If there's ever a turning point for this regime of Dallas players, it's right now. The Rams are going to be an 8-8 team, 9-7. I don't think they're going to be blowing people out of the water, and then they lose Brandon Cooks. How good is Jared Goff? I think Sean McVay is actually a really good coach, but I don't think Sean McVay is a miracle worker. He still needs talent. He needs people to be able to run that offense. And you lose Todd Gurley. So I'm going to go with Dallas in this matchup. We have the Steelers and the Giants to open up Monday Night Football. I'm going to go with the Steelers in this matchup. Obviously, I think they're a better team. I actually think they're a sleeper in the AFC. I have them making the playoffs. So watch out for Pittsburgh. If Big Ben stays healthy, they can definitely run out some wins and cause some people some trouble this season. And in the final game of Week 1 of the NFL 2020 season, we have the Tennessee Titans taking on the Denver Broncos. Von Miller out for the season. Horrible injury. Sucks for such a talented person to be out. And, it just sucks. There's no other words for it. I'm going to go Tennessee in this matchup. I don't know how good Tennessee really is, if they're as good as their playoff run was last year. But I think just everything that's going on with Denver right now, I don't know how well they're going to come out. And again, it's a new quarterback. There's new pieces to Melvin Gordon, and I don't know if Week 1, especially after losing Von Miller and playing against a team like Tennessee who has their money, who's coming off a nice playoff run, if that's the best way to start your season. So I'm going to go with Tennessee in that matchup. So those are our picks for the Week 1 of the NFL season here in Sports from the Couch on Mercado Airwaves. Next thing we do is we have to put them in order. If you're watching us here on YouTube or on Facebook, thank you guys so much. If you're listening to us on the audio, we love you, and maybe check us out so you guys can see this portion that we do with the video section of the network. So confidence-wise, what am I really confident in when it comes to picks? And we look down, I just kind of want to look and see, who do I think for sure is going to win some games? I think Pittsburgh for sure is going to win a game. So I'll go ahead and I'll put them up a little bit. Put them up really high. We look through right here. I like Baltimore over Cleveland. See, that one's dangerous because it's in division and it's not only is it in the division, it's Week 1 and it's against a team that has a lot of talent, So we keep looking through right here. Who else do we like? This is the problem with Week 1. Not only is there a lot of it's all division matchups, but also we don't know. They haven't been training camp. There hasn't been preseason games. So don't take these where I'm putting these rankings to heart and to stone and to think this is where the discrepancy is. I'm doing this because we have to for this week, and I think it's going to change a lot over the next few weeks. I'm going to go ahead and put Buffalo high. I'm going to put Vegas a little high. Not too high, though. Keep looking around. I'm going to keep New England high. I'm going to keep Seattle. I'm actually going to put Seattle a little bit up there too. And of course, we'll run this down for all you who are listening to the audio version so you guys can have an idea of what we're looking at for this year. I think Dallas. So the only game that I'm not going to put all the points on is looking around. I'm not going to put a lot of points on New England and on, that's going to be Freudian right there, Tampa Bay and New Orleans. I'm not going to put a lot of points on Tennessee and Denver because I'm just not too sure. I like Dallas over the Rams. I'm going to put them up a little bit higher. Not too sure about the Chargers. I'm going to put Dallas over Chicago. I definitely think Dallas is a better matchup against the Rams than Chicago is against Detroit. I think Indianapolis will beat. I'm going to take down the Packers and the Vikings just a little bit. And you know what? Even though I think Kansas City for sure is going to win, I'm going to put them at 10 points just to be safe because Houston can ball out if they want to. And, you have the Chiefs going to have all the pomps and circumstance going on because of the Super Bowl. So let's go ahead and look. I think I like what we're at. I put 16 points on the Steelers beating the Giants on Monday Night Football. I have 15 points on Buffalo beating the Jets. I have 14 points on Seattle beating Atlanta. I have 13 points on Baltimore beating Cleveland. I have 12 points on New England over Miami. 11 points on Vegas over Carolina. 10 points on the Chiefs over Houston. 11 points on the Colts beating Jacksonville. 8 on the Cowboys beating the Rams. Chicago over Detroit with 7 points. I put 6 confidence points on the Vikings over the Packers. 5 confidence points on Philadelphia over Washington. 4 confidence points on the Chargers beating the Bengals. 3 on Arizona over San Francisco. 2 on Tennessee over Denver. And 1 on New Orleans beating Tampa Bay. And those are our Week 1 confidence picks here on Sports from the Couch, here on Mercado Airwaves. Thank you guys so much for making us a part of your day. It was a lot of fun to do this. We will be doing this every single week, so make sure you guys are joining us for that. It is always a fun time here on the network. Make sure you guys are following us on Twitter at Mike M Media, Instagram Mike Mercado Media, and of course on Twitter at Couch Sports Talk for the show itself. We'll be talking about everything the Bears are doing during their games, and we'll be giving some fantasy updates, some advice. We'll be asking you for advice and all that fun stuff. But until then, everybody enjoy Week 1, enjoy the games. We will see you next time here on Sports from the Couch on Mercado Airwaves. Like us on Facebook, Mercado Airwaves, youtube.com/Mercado Airwaves Network. Like, rate, review, and share us wherever you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. Become a producer of the show at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And of course, make sure you guys check out any of the swag at teespring.com/Mercado Airwaves. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, enjoy the games. We will see you next time here on Sports from the Couch, here on Mercado Airwaves. I'm Mike Mercado.